Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Rant and Chill. On this channel, I like to rant and I like to chill. Here we're going to be chilling a bit, I suppose. It's a little different. So instead of doing a reaction, we're going to be talking about a band I know of. We're talking about Anthrax and dig into that a little bit. If you like this sort of thing, make sure you press the like button, share, and subscribe, and check out the other videos I have on this channel. You may like them if you like. If you want to discover other bands like Nemophila, Love Bites, Bandmate, Baby Metal, things like that. Okay, so we're going to rewind a little bit and talk about a band I have experienced before, Anthrax, and kind of like my thoughts on them and how it has changed over time. So I'm starting with Anthrax with this. I don't know if this could be like a series of videos or just a one-off thing. It really depends on if you guys like this. Otherwise, I probably won't really do it again. But so I don't know about you, but for me, I guess I should present it this way. What is Anthrax, like, genre-wise? Like, what do you consider them? Thrash? Are they rap metal? Are they like a hard grunge band? It's some sort of blend between. The reason why I asked that is because for me, how I got into Anthrax was the sound of white noise, which is not their thrash stuff, right? I mean, Anthrax is considered to be a thrash band. They're one of the big four. The big four being Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax. Like big four thrash bands. And I remember hearing that when the big four were doing their like concert thing, whatever. And I was like, Anthrax? Oh yeah, that's right, they are thrash. But that's because my perspective of what my introduction was of Sound of White Noise, and I kind of knew of their stuff, their previous stuff a little bit, but not really. Well, wasn't really that familiar with it until later on. So yeah, my exposure was Sound of White Noise, which of course you don't know. That was, I believe, the 1993 album. It was released around then as their sixth studio album. I believe it was a departure from their thrash roots. It was definitely a departure from their thrash roots. They took a little bit more of a grunge tone to it. It was still heavy, still very heavy, and still very aggressive in where it needs to be. But it was very different compared to previous albums. It would also be their highest charting album ever. I don't think anything is ever going to really pass that. So I guess if you're willing to ditch your thrash ways and go for something more commercial, you could probably be more successful. That does work sometimes. It worked for Metallica. It worked for Anthrax here. Kind of worked a little bit for Megadeth. Countdown to Extinction. Was a very commercially successful Megadeth album, but then you have like Risk, which was like we know what was that. Anyway, going back to Anthrax. So, I got into this album I got into Anthrax. So I was in high school, and one of my buddies, I would go to his house after school and pretty much play Counter-Strike, listen to good music, and just hang out, okay? And that friend introduced me to Room for One More, which, like, I was hooked immediately. Like, the Jaws sort of, like, guitar line in the beginning was really cool. Though, sure, yeah, I mean, the Jaws line could be seen as cheesy, maybe to some people, but it was backed up with a well-timed drum beat that just built up to a sick combination of tight, grungy metal guitar and hammering drums. Okay, it was really good stuff. And with that came a fascination with this band. I wanted to know more about them. I wanted to know more about this album. I wanted to know more. I wanted more of it. So eventually, I got my hands on that album, and I was really impressed. I really liked it. Before this, I had listened to Metallica, and it was different. I kind of enjoyed the difference of it. It had a different tone, different vibe. They seemed more. Uh, Not that they were more aggressive. Not that. That's not what I'm looking for. Like, they kind of seemed more honed into like I guess societal issues. I want to say. That's not really it either. There's something about them that was just really they stood apart from Metallica. And I don't say when Metallica, I'm going from like Master Puppets and Ride the Lightning, things like that. There's a different quality. Yes, I'm comparing. That would be me comparing my experience of listening to Ride the Lightning, Master Puppets, and then going to Anthrax, Sound of White Noise, which, yeah, I mean, the big tonal shift there, right? So then I was like, okay, I want to know more about Anthrax. And then I went to Sam Goody. At the time, there had the CD stores like Sam Goody. That's how old I am. And got the Anthrax Attack of the Killer A's, which is a weird one because it had like the B's crossed out with the A's, which I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what that was about, and it was like the only thing they had there in the Anthrax section in the for that band. So I got that. I was curious, and with that, I was exposed to like a rap metal tracks like and that one I believe was Public Enemy, right? A Public Enemy or Bring the Noise. A Public Enemy was part of it. Bring the Noise, which was a really good. I dig that song, but I was like, man, what, they do rap rock too? Which then like I was wanting to explore more, and I found out that no, that it wasn't just a one-off thing. They've done that before with I Am the Man. That was even before Sound of White Noise. That's when they had their original vocalist. What's his name? Belladonna. Is that his name? I believe that's his name. I might be spacing out on it. I think it's Belladonna, Joey Belladonna. But yeah, I Am the Man, which that itself is also rap metal and probably one of the first rap metal tracks to exist. And it was, so yeah, it wasn't like a departure. It's not like they've ever done that before. They've done it before. It was weird. Like I've never heard anything like that, and I liked it though. I was like, oh, that's cool. So, and then through that, I believe that album had some, if I remember correctly, I think that album had some songs from their older days too, from their more thrash heavy things, and I enjoyed that as well. I was like, oh, there's more to this band. There's something like, I think, is the song Indians on there? I think so. And I was like, man, this band has like a lot of, there's a lot of variety going on here. They have a lot of thrash things that sound very similar to like old school Metallica and like Testament and things like that, but they shifted and they have a different sound, but it's still all right, still good. But then it just, my fascination kind of waned a bit, because as I look at, I want to compare them once again, going back to the big four like Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer. Anthrax is like the one that really stands out as, is it really there? It is there, but it's not as strong as the other three. Well, I say that, but at the same time, Among the Living, the thrash album in 1987, is considered to be one of the strongest thrash metal albums, at least by critics. It is a good album. It is a good album for sure. It is very important. So it's not like they don't have good quality thrash songs there. They just also have a lot of misses. They have some misses there. And I look at that and kind of go, what else does it say? I mean, because after that, my journey with Anthrax, after discovering, listening to Among the Living, and then I think, was it Stomp 442? I was not a big fan of. I think Riding Shotgun was a decent song in there. Drop the Ball was okay. Then there was the album The Threat Is Real. The Threat Is Real. That album was okay. I think the best song on that album was Inside Out. And that's a really good song. I really enjoyed it. But it's just a band that, like what I think of, there's only two albums that really stand out that I really enjoy, and that would be Among the Living and Sound of White Noise. And it was Sound of White Noise that really got me in there, got me hooked at first. So that's what I thought their sound was, but it wasn't. So, and the reason why I'm doing this rewind is to kind of look at this band again and wonder, like, how I got into it, and if my opinion has changed over time. And I gotta say, it definitely has, because they're a band that I honestly haven't really thought of for a good while. And I don't mean that to be mean, but it is kind of mean, isn't it? But it's honest, though. And it's not like I've forgotten about. Well, I guess I haven't thought about it means you've forgotten about it, doesn't it? I literally did play on the playlist on repeat when the other day when I was cleaning up the shed in the backyard. That was The Sound of White Noise, though. That album and Among the Living are like the two albums I'll listen to when it's time for some Anthrax. Other than that, there might be an Anthrax song like Only or Room for One More. Maybe I Am the Man. Maybe Among the Living, Call the Mosh. On my playlist. And that's about it, really. They're a band that I kind of like, but I don't thoroughly enjoy. But at the same time, though, it's not like they didn't contribute. It's not like they don't contribute anything, or they didn't contribute anything to like the thrash scene. Because when you listen to Among the Living, one thing that really stands out compared to like Metallica, especially, is the bass sound. There's much more of a bass sound in it. You can hear it more. It's just a different vibe. It was just a different attitude with them, it seemed. And I don't know. And it's kind of appealing. I mean, after all, we're talking about a band that was willing to do rap metal before that was even a thing. And they weren't even selling out doing it. They did it because it was fun. They had some fun with it. And it wasn't like, it didn't become like their identity or anything. It was just a one-off thing. And they just continued to do what they want to do. It's like, whereas Metallica was driven towards commercial success, what would help them commercially, also with the help of Bob Rock. Anthrax is more driven toward by well, that's the question. I don't know, man. I don't know, because Sound of White Noise was also a deviation, right? It was like a deviation. It was the kind of, they were embracing the kind of grunge look. Even what was it? Stomp 442, right? Or even in the Threat Is Real, they were wearing the flannel. They were wearing the flannel. They were wearing the grunge uniform. So it was like, okay. I guess they did try a little bit to be more commercial, but it just it didn't go as well. And yeah, there's that. So I'm kind of curious, what do you guys think of Anthrax, really? Like, how did you discover Anthrax? Was it Sound of White Noise? Was it something similar, or were you with them from the very beginning? And how have your thoughts changed over time? Let me know in the comments section, and yeah, we'll talk about it maybe on a live stream. With that said, y'all take it easy.